Hi everyone, Darren Hunter here. You know, in today's age, you can't just have boring photos on your property marketing listings. You've got to have a virtual walkthrough tour. That way tenants can quickly qualify themselves and look through the property even at 2 in the morning online. But I can hear you say, look, Darren, it's too expensive with cameras and takes too long. That's why you've got to go to virtualtourscreator.com.au and check out how you can do walkthrough virtual tours using your mobile phone. Go and check it out. Also, talk to Tom there at virtualtourscreator.com.au on how you can quickly turn your tours into really cheap floor plans as well. Take care.
Hi, Deniz, Yusuf here, and this is the Grow 100 Expert Challenge, and we've got the almighty Ashleigh Goodchild all the way over from Perth, Australia. For anyone that is listening that isn't from Australia, we are, I don't know how many thousands of kilometres apart, Ash, but you're on one end of the country, of the spectrum. I'm on the other. So anyone from America, it's like being in the northern part, the border of Canada, all the way down the distance towards Mexico. That's how far apart we are, but it's from east to west. That's the only difference. So, Ashleigh, thanks for coming on board.
Thanks for having me, Deniz.
Yeah, look, you are one person that was on my radar back in 2018 when we first met. I remember Darren, myself, and Stephen Rosenberg were doing a national tour, and you bought your first ticket to one of our events. And I remember I emailed you saying, hey, great, look forward to catching up. Do you remember what you replied me?
No, but I could have been quite stubborn back in 2018. So I suggest it would have been a very stubborn answer.
So I remember you said, look, I've been to other training events and I thought I would give this one a go. Short and straight to the point.
That is actually me, yeah, to the T. Short and straight to the point.
Anyway, but you did come, and I remember at the end of the event, and I was reading your feedback form, because it was the old paper ones that we had, and you were challenging us already, saying you can't put your fees up, or this is too hard in this market, this, that, and the other. And I think I recall catching up with you again about 3 months' time, and you were telling me all of these amazing things that you'd upped your fees and you're so much happier, and you know, so huge mindset training. So which is Darren Hunter's. That's not my training at all, but it's interesting what happens when you implement, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, Ashleigh, so let's hook into this. A lot of people are going to be either reading this or listening to it as well. But the first thing I've got to ask, are you a tea or a coffee person?
I am a coffee person, but funny enough, I only started drinking coffee probably in 2018, actually, probably when I met you. And I actually drink coffee for social reasons as opposed to any other reason. So I like the habit of coming into the office and going to the coffee shop where the man knows my name, as opposed to feeling like I need a coffee. So a bit different than others.
It's interesting because coffee is one of those things where if someone says, hey, let's grab a coffee, what does that mean?
That to me means I want to catch up with you.
It does, right? It's about a meeting. There's so much behind it. Gone are the days everyone says, let's go and have a beer, right? When someone says, let's have a coffee, it means I want to talk business. I want to get to know. I want to connect with you. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it is. And the social side of it, I think that's totally acceptable. And you run coffee meetings.
I do run coffee meetings now. And I have a coffee, but my coffee order changes. I'm one of those annoying people. I don't have my set order. I switch and change. Sometimes I like a cappuccino, sometimes I want a latte, sometimes I want a long mac. Yeah.
Okay. Look, I'm similar. I'll order a mocha. Mocha's probably my go-to, especially when I am allowed to travel and you don't know if the coffee's good or not. So I'll have a bit of chocolate in to hide the burntness or whatever. But I mix it up. I have a piccolo.
Yep.
The mocha. I will have a latte. I have an espresso martini and an affogato. I mean,
Yeah, espresso martini. I add that one to the list.
There's 5.
Yeah.
And I do have Turkish coffee wherever I can as well. Okay, so now I need to know. One day I'm going to knock on the door in your office. I need to know, you've got a good cafe around the corner, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's good to know, because Perth doesn't have that many good coffee shops. There's a couple that are hidden around.
Well, I'm lucky that I work on a cafe strip, and my favourite one, and the reason why it's the favourite is that I walk in the door and he goes, "Hey, Ash," and then he just does the order. And now with my whole team, when we go in there to do the order, it was quite funny the other day. We said, "Okay, we'd like a skinny long Mac topped up," and he went, "Okay, that's for Vanessa." And he said to us, he said, "Actually, it's easier if you just give me your staff's names because I know their order." And we just went, "Vanessa, Karen, and he just wrote them all down. And that impresses me, totally impresses me, and makes me go back every time. And it's a good coffee.
Well, he's personalised his whole business around you guys, hasn't he? That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one last thing, you get a little choc chip cookie, where the other coffee shop, which is actually good, doesn't do a little choc chip cookie on top. And that's very important to us. So
yeah, maybe I should have recorded that and sent it to them to give them a tip for the little +1s, right? There you go, +1s work.
Yeah, value adding.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself, Ash. Like, what did you do before real estate?
So I finished school, went and studied naturopathy, loved doing that. Only had some prac hours to finish, ended up going and getting a little job as a receptionist in a real estate agency, and was earning money at 18, and that was more enjoyable than going and doing massage prac hours. And I worked for a company where the owner had died, a Century 21 officer, he had died, and a pilot and air hostess took over the business, and they had no idea on how to run it. And me being a bit of a control freak, I just sort of got in and just helped them as much as I could. So within 3 months, I was doing their payroll, assisting their strata, helping their property management. And I started my career really being thrown into the deep end and just having to learn every aspect along the way, because they had no idea either.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, that answers my question about, why did you join real estate? Do you know how many people were a receptionist and now own a business?
Huge.
It's crazy. I mean, Laura, as you know, over there in Perth as well, she's the first one that comes to mind for me. But, there's countless people that I talk about, even Sarah, who she's also in one of the chapters of this book. It's very interesting. It's like, there's an admin role, and we know what it's like, the cycle of property managers, and someone who's already in the industry is at the receptions, they get thrown into property management.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a good segue into real estate, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Maybe the secret to people finding a property manager is advertise for a receptionist.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. And then it's interesting. The receptionist, though, could go either way. They could go into property management, go into sales. And I have always actually had receptionists in my business that have loved being a receptionist and have had no interest in doing anything else because they love that role. So, yeah, not sure.
Yeah, I mean, your energy and your buzz and your vibrant spirit, should we say, people would be happy to work for you. I'm sure that you'd be tough when you need to be tough, but you can sense that you've got that. When people meet you, they'll sense and know that as well. So what's your buzz? Like, what is the buzz? What keeps you going to work on a Monday morning? What do you love about real estate? What's that big motivation for you?
One of my staff said to me the other day, they said, "Ash, my workplace is my safe place. Like that's a safe. And that's probably what it is for me. It's a place where I am in control. I don't have children in my ear. I've got adults in my ear. But for me, it's just a very it's it's even hard to even put in words, but it's my own time. It's doing what I love. I'm very creative in my business. I'm very supportive with my staff in my business. And I've really, like in the last sort of 20 odd years, really broken down what do I love and what don't I love, and outsourcing the things that I don't love doing and only focusing on what I love. And so every single day is 100% enjoyable because of that. So an example would be, I used to do our bookkeeping for our business for 15 years. And it was only, a number of years ago where I just thought, I'm fine doing it, but I just really hate doing it. It's not an enjoyable part. And so I made the decision to outsource that to a company, which I should have done 20 years before, but the fact that I don't have to do that anymore is a great relief. And I've just really worked out that quadrant of what I'm good at and what I love to do. And that's what I do day to day.
That's awesome. So you've taken out the boringness out of your life within.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is awesome. I mean, outsourcing, whether you're outsourcing the task within your own business or to another company, whatever the case is, there's huge advantages of taking away your weakness and recognizing your weakness and what's dragging you down, so you can focus on income producing activities or activities that are more beneficial for your clients.
Yeah, and I think that we do get too caught up doing all the stuff we don't like because we're trying to save money, or we just think, we just don't want to show our insecurities, or that's too much for me, or I'm not very good at doing that. We don't like doing that. We humans have got that. I'm capable. Yes, I can. Of course I can. When in fact they actually really can't. So it's being true to yourself with that as well. So I actually made a bit of a bookkeeping mistake, and that's what instigated us. It actually cost us more money to fix it than what it would have cost just to have had that bookkeeper in the first place. So that was definitely what changed for us in the business. Yeah,
and I think you recognizing and owning it is the key. So many people will push that down, but you've done that. Yeah, so it screams a lot about yourself. So tell us about your marketplace. So and your office.
So our marketplace so my ideal client is a mum and dad investor, someone that has lots of money but doesn't look like they have lots of money, older demographic, and a lot of country clients as well, and a lot of, very much family. So the reason why we've got the country clients is because we are very close to the CBD in South Perth. We have a uni very close by, and so a lot of the older generation bought properties here so their children could go to uni, because that's what you did back 30 years ago, and they still hold on to those properties because they're not the older demographic don't actually sell. They're a different types. So that's what my area is like. We have very good real estate agents in our area, but we are all very, very different, and we all play a part to our different ideal clients. So it's a really good real estate industry to be in our suburb.
It's interesting you say that. My dad would be rolling in his grave if he knew that I'd sold a house.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like you buy, you rent, and you don't sell, and you buy again, And
you pass it on to your children when you die.
Yeah. But I mean, now you see stickers on the back of car, like, and there's even ads, spend your inheritance. Don't worry about giving it to the kids. Like, it's ad campaigns and lifestyles all about that now, isn't there?
Absolutely.
No, so that's cool. So how many properties have you guys got under management, Ash?
We have nearly 600 now.
Wow.
Yeah, we've had a really good growth spurt in the last 12 months. So we were sitting at 500 for quite a while. I think 500 is a real crucial point. 100 and 500, I think, are the crucial rent roll points, where you can sometimes get a little bit stale. And with the help of a few new referral networks, the 600 is nearly where we're at, and we'll be there in a few months.
Wow, that's exciting. That's look, I remember when Integrity, we hit 500. It took so long to get to 600.
Yeah.
It's that. Do I employ more staff? Do I not employ? Like because it changes your whole company. Once you hit that 500 and you're getting close to the 600, there's, you know, subscriptions change, so much change in the real estate world. But yeah, so that's an awesome target to hit, that 600. That's huge. Congratulations. That's a big company you've got there.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's not our intention. I've never been a hungry BDM or someone that would ever step over anyone to get business. It's not me. So I think it's just really being consistent over all these years, and the consistency and the reputation is paying off for us now, and will pay off for us for the next 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So a long game for sure for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Okay, let's say you're at 500, right? You're at 500 today and you need to get to 600 within 12 months, right? What would be your 1 to 2 key things that you would focus on to grow 100 doors in a 12-month period? And why would you choose those two?
Yeah, so I'm very much on my personal brand and marketing, but it's not just about your personal brand and how you put yourself online. It's about how you reuse your data and your content, and it's about the education side of things. So the reason why I've been successful with my online presence and footprint is because I educate, and that I can honestly say 100% is a reason for a lot of our new business that's come on board. It's made a massive difference. So the education really, just simple stuff. You know, the one I did the other day was how is a property manager set up in their office? Are they pod-based? Are they portfolio-based? That's information that landlords never, ever ask, because they don't think to ask, because you don't know what you don't know. So my job is to actually say to them, listen, just so you know, this is how our office is set up. There's no right or wrong. This is just what works best for our clients and what our clients prefer. And it helps them then make sure that when they ask someone else to do a new management appraisal, that they ask those questions and prompts the right questions in the appointment. So my education on my personal brand is 100%. And the other benefit of doing that is that then you can repurpose that education online and send it straight to your database and do that direct electronic marketing. And so by reusing your content, you're making it very, very simple, and you are putting it through to the right people, and that will bring in you new business without a doubt. Stepping that even further is the education nights with the same sort of content. So, and we always do a series of them each year. So that doing that consistently is 100% the way that I get new business. But I'm not a cold caller. So for me, I'm not someone who's going to get on the phone and call people or go door knock. That works for me.
Yeah, that's cool. So it's one of those things. So the branding, I want to dig deeper on that, right? Because you brought up that personal branding and you're doing that online. But for anyone listening or reading, they're going to want to know, okay, online, where, how, what? Because, I mean, I know the answer because I see it, right?
Yeah.
So let's dig in a little bit deeper if we can. So obviously you're doing a video, right?
Yes.
But what are you then doing? So I get that you're then distributing it out, but just go through that motion, and you're also repurposing it as well. So can you just go through a basic motion on that video what you've done on, you know, pod or task-based, etc., as an example?
Yeah, so I would do a video. I would then publish it to my, that one was suitable to go onto my business Instagram and Facebook. So I just do that naturally. And then it goes onto my LinkedIn, which is where my clients are. And the reason why this brings me a new business is because I connect regularly to my clients. You call me up for an appraisal, I've connected with you on LinkedIn straight away. So I don't necessarily need to prove myself over emails because, hey, you'll see me every day anyway on LinkedIn. So that is the reason why this works for me. So if I specifically have added a couple of new contacts for the day for people that have contacted me for an appraisal, I will make sure that I get a video up pretty quickly to make sure that I'm active from an algorithm point of view, and they can see me straight away. So that video goes up onto my LinkedIn, and from there I also put it onto my YouTube, because if it's over 10 minutes, generally I try not to, but if it's over 10 minutes, you need to have a YouTube link. The other benefit of doing a YouTube link is that you can actually see how many people have clicked on it and viewed it, and you can see how that's going. That goes straight out to my database. So that video would have been more suitable for prospective landlords. So I would send it off to that database. So it's one piece that is just being reused. And then quite often I would get that translated into a blog, which again, there's free or very, very cheap options to do that. And then I put that blog on where it's relevant basically to be. So I personally, I don't know if I'm allowed to sort of touch on this, but from a personal brand point of view, I have my own website, so ashleighgoodchild.com.au, and I actually just use that like my library. So that's where my content is, so that I remember. So I will put my blog there, and I put my YouTube videos there, so that they're all in one place for me. And then when I need to reference it, or when I need some new content, I will just go back there and grab it from my library and pop it on to whichever platform I need. And then in addition to that, like yesterday, I was thinking to myself, I need to do a new video, and I had run out of a couple of ideas, wasn't feeling very creative. I went back through my library and had a look at some really old videos that I'd done. And then I thought, okay, I need to revamp that a little bit more and make it fresher. And that's what I did. Popped it back on again.
And you've also got a new audience as well that may not have, seen that. So, look, as a rule of thumb, we actually rotate our stuff every 6 months.
Okay, yeah.
6 months. I mean, we all know the property management industry. There's new property managers, BDMs, leasing agents coming on board all the time, right? So, and they yet haven't seen what we may have posted 6 months ago, or they missed the song on the radio, should we say? They didn't see it last time, or so it's totally fine to repurpose.
And from a point of view from me, like as a consumer of yours, I don't ever look at something and go, oh, Deniz put that on 6 months ago. I never would have even noticed. So it's very true.
Yeah, and look, it's interesting because very rarely, we would change the heading, right? Or the meme. Let's say it's an educational meme. We might not change the heading, but we might change the catchphrase at the top. And then we'll put a different photo of Deniz or Darren or Michael or the crowd or whoever we're promoting, so because we all get attracted to different things emotionally, or whether it's color or whatever the case is. So, repurposing it is brilliant. It's great to do it.
And that's a good point as well with repurposing, with the different captions and titles. It's very easy to do.
Now, I've got to bring up a platform that you haven't brought up yet.
I know, because I haven't spoken to you since.
I'm watching, don't you worry. Ashleigh messaged me around 12, 14, 15 months ago, I'm going to say it was, saying, I can't believe my kids came and told me you're on TikTok. I have to create an account now.
My kids still see you as a celebrity. And so when if I have the opportunity of seeing you, they have been very much like, Mum, can you make sure you get a photo with Deniz? So they just think you're royalty.
I'm far from royalty. Anyone who's met me knows I'm not royalty. We're going to have to do a TikTok together, right?
Yeah.
We will have. Maybe we could do a duet. We'll get back to the what we're here to talk about. But Ash, your online presence, your personal brand has had a shift in the last couple of months because of one viral video. Now, Ashleigh, in my PM Lead Secrets book, I talk about if you get that viral post, right? And you can't just recreate those posts. They happen. It's pot luck, right? And you certainly did not try and redo it again. You then went, hang on a minute, there's a market here, and you've run with it. And I love it. So you're helping the complete new shift in real estate, and I think it's great. So I
remember talking to you about TikTok and having a real sort of dilemma And I still do have a bit of a dilemma with it, but I remember sort of saying to you, I don't understand it enough to get traction on it. And I remember you saying to me, Ash, you will work out a vibe, you'll work out your style, it'll come, you know what I mean? Just keep sort of doing what you're doing and something will happen, it'll come. And it did. Like I was the type of person that was using TikTok where I appointed my 12-year-old daughter to be my TikTok manager, and I would have videos and content on my phone. And we have a 45-minute drive to school each morning. And I would say to her, can you please post this video and do whatever hashtags? I don't know how to do TikTok. Can you just sort it out for me? That was her little job to do. So I did that for a while. And interesting enough, I didn't know who my target audience was. And I thought my target audience was other property managers. And I posted an eviction that went really, really well. I was impressed. I thought it was going to be a shocker, and it was great. And I posted it. Here's an eviction that went so well. I'm really, really happy. It could have been a lot worse. Well, turns out my target audience is not property managers, Deniz. My target audience is a whole heap of property manager hating renters out there who thought that it was absolutely disgusting that I would post a good eviction in a time where we have got homelessness and bigger crises in the world. And I guess I can sort of see where they're going, but it was absolutely not about that. And so I was probably more worried for my children, to be honest, because they were seeing some pretty horrible comments. And I also had some people from the industry who said to me, Ash, I don't know how you do it. I've seen it. I'm actually just taking myself off TikTok. I can't even use it. I can't look at it. I'm not interested. And so I shifted it all around and I thought, okay, I've got a whole heap of uneducated people right here that have no idea about property management, about a property manager's point of view, about what actually really goes on from our point of view, from our side. And the fact that, we worked with charities with this tenant, the fact that we worked with family, there's so much behind the scenes. So I thought I'm going to start educating them. And so that's what I've done. And I jumped very, very high in my followers from that video. But it's been really, really great. And I feel like I'm being very helpful now to people. I'm getting messages on Instagram and on TikTok from people actually saying, Ash, can you help me with this? I'm applying for a property. What should I do? We talk about cover letters and things like that. And I'm getting a lot of people now asking for a little bit of help and guidance. And it's going really good. I'm sort of understanding it a little bit more. And I feel that there's a need for educating, because at the end of the day, these people on TikTok are going to be our adults one day. And I'm deeply concerned.
Can I just say you've hit the hammer on the nail there, and let me tell you why. IGT has started training on TikTok.
Great.
Right. Michael and I have been studying it. We've been watching it. We actually share so many business ideas because there's some really great things out there on TikTok. I follow Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone, there's so many, people that inspire me as well. And, you get all these people sharing business tips, Instagram tips, and we're sharing all of those things, website, SEO, this, that, and the other. And it's great. So we have started, and everyone's saying, TikTok, just like those calls you're getting, I can't handle it. Instagram, the same thing happened. The same people were saying, why would you want to do it? And now they're all landlords. Right. And now Instagram, more people are signing up to Instagram than any format. Right. So, and the same thing, the shift is happening with TikTok, but quicker. It's happening faster, so it is interesting. So I've just had a quick look, and wow, you're nearly at 6,000 likes. That's huge. Look, I was fortunate to have a video go viral with my 3 kids, and the 3 kids, and I had, something like 49,000 likes on one video, which was just absolutely, and I had another one coming to Perth. Of course, Dennis doing a selfie video on a phone on an airplane, so, but again, it's that personal branding, right? Yeah. But the only reason why I was sharing that is because my children and my personal brand, those airplane photos, that's my personal brand. Coffee, you brought up, my personal brand, right? So you're using the personal brand for your business, and it's through TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, social media, through video, through education. So huge congratulations. You're tapping all areas.
And I think with all of that, it's knowing your audience on each of these platforms. And I have a different audience on every single one of them. And that's really important, because the minute we get too stuck and just publishing the same content all around, that's when we start missing the mark.
Love it. Well said. They're different radio stations. We all like music, but we listen to country, pop, R&B, whatever. So that's how people have got to look at it. So well said. And if you've got the same music on each channel, then people start turning off.
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so how many other agencies have you got like in your area, like around you?
So if I've got 2 agencies that are opposite me, as in like 10 meters opposite me, and then I've got 2, I'll probably say 4 other major agencies. So in the South Perth area, I would say there's a good 10 prominent real estate companies.
And then there's another 30 that come into your cycle.
Without a doubt, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if a new landlord was to ring you up, Ash, and they said, look, I've got other agencies coming as well, I'd like you to come out, irrespective of, what time you get there versus the others. But how many other agencies would you be typically up against if that was a common thing?
Well, there's 2 ways to answer this question. I would say that quite often people get me in and only me, because they see me online and I just go in and I just do what I do and it's done, because they've already got that trust in me from my online presence and reputation. But typically, to be honest, in the past, it would have been 3 or 4 agents that would go in, but lately I find that landlords these days are pretty much choosing someone who they like, and unless you completely stuff it up at that appointment, I feel that people only have time for one person these days. They might email lots of people, but generally it's just that one person that comes out, and I think that's a really big shift in BDM work and property management.
It is. I think it's more of a shift in what you've done, because
Could be.
It's always been there, right? It's just people haven't chosen to jump in and do it, because videos, but I've been training on videos since 2013, Ash, right?
Yeah.
And social media, this and the other. So you've come on board, you've recognized it, and people still have that fear, right?
Yeah.
So keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. While it's fearful for them, you just got to keep going, because imagine by the time they catch up and they start doing video, what's the next thing that you're going to be doing?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and even from the point of view, sending out an email to these new clients, and, saying to them, to find out more about me, check out my LinkedIn. To find out more about our office, visit our Google reviews, which fortunately ours are very strong for the area. And sometimes, I've got a whole heap of pre-made videos that I can send to them, which are relevant as well. So before they've even met me, they've just sent out a blanket email maybe to a few agents, and then they've checked my checked my LinkedIn, checked my Google reviews, had a look at a video that I've sent, and it's like, she looks good, she looks fine. And the other agents didn't do that. So it's pretty simple. I naturally find it quite simple.
Yeah. Okay. So does that now? You kind of already answered my next question that I'm going to ask. Like, what are your points of differences, against these other agencies, right? So you've got the video. You're obviously sending them a pre-listing email as well.
Yeah, I don't know if I would even call them points of difference. I mean, I have the highest amount of Google reviews for the South Perth area, so that's very simple for me. I am the only person in the South Perth area I probably give back to the industry the most out of anyone, and I can claim that title, that yes, I do love property management enough to run a good team, but also enough to help other property managers and also to give back to the industry. So I can definitely claim that as my point of difference that nobody else can. And so, you know, and all the extras of the videos and the communication is all just the icing on the cake.
Can I just say, like, what's normal to you now is a point of difference. You're just not realizing it. Like you've got this, like, because you're at a level now, Ash, it's the norm, right? Isn't this what everyone's doing? Well, no, they're not. You know, they're not doing these videos. They're not doing podcasts. They're not doing network meetings for industry experts. They're not doing all of these things. And you know, another point of difference is you're in charge of the company director, and you're also in property management. Like, you know, the list does go on, and you just keep ticking the boxes on them. So it is a point of difference. Let me encourage you. You're kicking some really big goals, and well done on that. So, okay, again, this one's going to be difficult to answer because you're showing your worth. You know your worth to the client, right? But I'm new. I've moved into Perth. I don't understand. I don't care what you've got to offer, this, that, and the other. I can't say I don't care, but, you know, I ring you up and I say, Ash, you came round. It was great. I had 3 other agents come in. It's between you and another one. You know, will you match the fees of this particular agency here? And I'm going to sign with you today. I'm ready to go. And by the way, I've got 2 other properties.
Yeah. So I've said before, fee negotiation hasn't come up a lot for me because I don't make it a point of bringing it up. I will send fee schedules over the email. I have no problems doing that. And if you want to meet with me, we don't talk about fees again. We talk about marketing. So it's not a topic for discussion. However, it does come up, and I think people that say that it doesn't are probably sort of, you know, making it up a little bit. But what I like to do, and I've only sort of really just discovered exactly how I do it, I don't negotiate on fees. However, I do have some flexibility on fees. So the flexibility, there's probably 2 areas that are flexible. Routine inspections. So in WA, we can do up to 4 per year. However, I personally feel that there's some 1-bedroom apartments with a balcony that don't need to be inspected every 12 weeks. So I'll be flexible and I'll say to the client, listen, I don't have any room to move on our fees. However, I can be flexible with our routine inspections. So at the moment, they're 4 per year, but if you feel there's only need to have, you know, 2 or 3 per year, I'm actually okay with that. I'm not going to charge you $1. I'm not going to do it just for the sake of getting $1. I'm happy with that. The other thing that I'm flexible with is, and it's only because we have such a strong database, if someone doesn't want to pay for marketing or a little bit hesitant with that, I'll say to them, I'm also happy to try for the first 5 days to do a soft launch through our database to try and find you a tenant. That won't cost you anything. If that doesn't work and I have to put that property on the internet, it's going to charge, and we're going to charge you an internet upload fee. However, happy to give it a go as a free option for you, because if it's good market, we've got a good database, there's a good chance we can actually do that. So I'm flexible with those 2 areas, and quite often from a psychological point of view, that's actually all the client wants. They don't actually always want that discount, very rarely, but they want to have a little bit of a win, because that's human. I want to have a win as well. And that's what I feel is what people want. And I feel like they get that win because I'm flexible on those 2. So some agencies might be flexible on other things. They might be flexible, I can't even think of any, but, you know, flexible on something. So that is a really great way to have that discussion with clients. And it's worked for me, and no one ever has come back and said, oh, but would you still reduce your management fee? But you know what I mean? They're normally very happy with that decision because they've had that little bit of a win. So that's would be my recommendations if someone approaches you.
I'm going to say I love the idea of let's give it a soft go in using your database first. You know, the only loss I guess there is you don't have those professional photos for the relet when the tenant's in it. So that's only my word of advice.
That's true.
There. You know, so then you're facing that issue, but it doesn't stop your staff or yourself to do a video at least of the property before the property is filled or tenanted, to still getting some photos, because there's platforms where you can, you know, get photos enhanced and add furniture to it later. So just an education tip from my end there, that's all. But what a great idea.
But quite often, Deniz, the client's okay having the photos done. It's the photos are generally not negotiable and are normally fine. And you use those photos to go to your database. So
gotcha. So it's more the premier listing on websites, the extra costs.
Yeah, like if I put it on the website, I have to pay for that to go on that listing. So that's what I can quite often avoid. It works really, really well for my core market because, 85% of our business is within our local area, and we get a lot of repeat business, a lot of walk-ins. I can very confidently lease a property through our database. But if I get a property that might be half an hour out, it doesn't always work. So I can't be flexible with those ones. But if I can, I'm more than happy to help.
No, that's cool. I think that's an awesome tip there that I really love. Okay, so Ash, we have hundreds of professionals listening in on podcasts, in our training across over 9 to 10 countries, right? Plus, right? We have so many that are listening in on our podcast. So for someone that's potentially new and they're listening on the podcast and they're thinking about joining the real estate industry, what advice would you give those people?
My advice would be to definitely join some network groups that can just make you, if you're having one of those crappy days, it's just a safe group that you can actually talk to and share experiences. I think that is massive in the industry at the moment. I think a lot of people feel very isolated, and especially when they're working from home and things like that. So I think that's a really, really helpful thing to do. And I think it also helps if you ever have any frustrations in your business that you're working. If you're new to the industry, what's happening in your office you might consider to be normal. And sometimes if there's something that just doesn't feel right, it's always good to speak to other people, just, for that, just to sort of, just to find out, is this normal or not normal in the property management industry? So I think I'm a very big sharer, so I feel that that's so important. And, joining groups, like IGT, etc., they're a really great way to have that network if it's not in person. And I think podcasts are always great, whether they're yours or mine or anyone's. They're a great way in your own time to listen to other people's experiences. That's what it all comes down to. And I think that's what people love to hear. So I just think that that's so important. And I call it positive comparisons. And it's, people sometimes see comparing yourself as a negative, but comparing yourself is actually a positive in my opinion, because I might compare myself to somebody else, and I will either look at them and go, oh, I like what they're doing. I might keep that in the back of my mind. Or I might go, oh, I feel better about what I'm doing now. I'm on the right track. You
learn your worth. You totally learn your worth. It can be, okay, I need to improve, or it can be, wow, I'm better than I thought,
Absolutely. So that's really healthy. I think those comparisons which you get by listening or network groups, and that, the thing with property management is we are throwing hurdles all the time. We never will truly know everything, and so we just need to make sure that the job is enjoyable and we're happy doing it, and we are in the same boat as everybody else. And I'm very big on property managers having that happy property management life and having that longevity. When I see people burnt out and having to leave the industry, it completely guts me. I wish that I could just grab them and say, no, come sit with, come to one of my coffee catch-ups or listen to this podcast. It's okay, that I want to see improve in the industry more.
Yeah, absolutely. And the more training people go to, the better the industry gets, the better the standard gets, the happier people are. And congratulations, Western Australia. You guys have led the way in Australia, which has helped Australia be looked upon as the best property managers in the world. We certainly are.
we have such a great property management, tribe over here. And I remember at one of the last events that I held, I had someone come up to me and say, Ash, everybody here is so nice. And I was like, that's right. This is, we're creating this this network of where it's okay to call each other. If you've got an issue, call this person, they'll help you. And that is honestly, it's only going to get bigger and better for WA for sure.
It is. That is happening around Australia as well, which is absolutely phenomenal to see, and it's all because of these Facebook groups. There's so many Facebook groups. People then meet each other face to face, and it's great. So great tip, network, and get in. Okay, so Ash, as you know, Inspired Growth Training, we have a conference where we do try and run it annually when there's no pandemic on. Sadly, 2020, we didn't get to have a conference, but we do run an international conference, which, you're booked in to come to our next one. And, Deniz taps you on the shoulder because all of a sudden he's lost his voice. There's no speakers. They've all gone home. Darren's off teaching someone maximising fees, and Michael's, pep talking someone about technology or outsourcing or something, right? And I write on a note, Ash, as you know, there is the top BDMs and property managers around whatever country coming into Australia. I need you to give some words of wisdom for the last 2 minutes, and you have to close the conference. What are you going to say? You've got to close the conference, Ash. Let's go. Bring it on.
No, I told you that I've been real easy with questions today, and this one's going to throw me. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh my God, I'm stuck for words. Never stuck for words.
It's a good question, right? It's a good question. I'm going to fill in some time to help you think.
Okay. Well, I mean, this might not. I live by a motto, and it's work hard and be kind.
Work hard and be kind.
They are my two things in life that we all need to do, and treating people as good as we are and not as bad as they've been is another thing that I am teaching my children as well. And that comes to dealing with clients and staff members, etc. So I like to always act with kindness in whatever I do, despite whether I agree with what someone says or doesn't do. And that's always worked for me, not always straight away, but eventually. And so and understanding the business and understanding your position, staying in your own lane is very important in property management or any position in real estate as well. And be curious. Ask questions of colleagues, ask questions of people in the industry, ask questions to your boss. Be curious, because that's how we learn. And that is the best thing that you can do for yourself personally and professionally.
You did it,
Did I do it?
Everyone's just standing up applauding,
And you are owing me an espresso martini.
It's like, I need a drink now. Ashleigh, I've got to say, I love that you brought in your kids into that as well, and what to do, because, our integrity, is on the line when we're running a business, right? And people, all of a sudden you are a fishbowl, especially when you put yourself out there on social media, you're running a business. And if that is instilled internally within your business and you've got that family environment, it's creating a really good culture. So no doubt you would have a really good, strong culture within your business, and it does show, so congratulations again on that. Ashleigh, wow. The best way for people to contact you, LinkedIn, no doubt.
Yeah, I love LinkedIn, and definitely connect with me there. And I'm also there. I've connected actually with a lot of your clients, which is really great. And I encourage them to, look at my stuff. Feel free to replicate it relevant for your industry. I have no issues at all with people doing that, and that's how we can all get better with what we're doing. So LinkedIn, definitely just under Ashleigh Goodchild, and then I use the handle Perth Property Manager on Instagram and on TikTok, if you are brave enough to jump on there.
Well, if they continue listening to our podcasts and training, then they're going to have no choice. Look, just so you know, I don't know, I'd possibly say at least 10 times a month for people to go out and connect with you on LinkedIn. Melissa Hickson's another amazing person.
Right.
Shoshana McNichol
Yep.
on the socials and stuff as well. So, keep doing what you're doing. We absolutely love seeing it. It's people like you that inspire us to keep pushing our boundaries as well.
And I think as well with your conference and the reason why I love going to that, and me coming from WA, going over east to do it, it's a big thing, but it's an opportunity for me to connect with other people in Australia that I see online all the time, like Melissa Hickson. I've never met her in person, but I consider her a really good social media friend. We do chat and talk and do videos. So the opportunity to be able to, apart from seeing your wonderful event as well, but the opportunity to network with all my social media friends over East is so important for me, and another reason why the importance of that networking is really important for me.
Yeah, it is. So, Ashleigh, one thing that I do is I look to the content first. I'm always looking at strong content so that when people come, they're going to learn something good. And then I look at who's the best to teach on that content, right? Darren Hunter and I have argued various times, and he used to think it's always about the speaker and about the content. And I said, dude, it's about the culture, it's about the people, it's about the networking. And you've just hit the hammer on the nail. And we've even done surveys in the IGT Inner Circle, and people keep going, I can't wait to see Mel. I can't wait to see the Lindas, the Shardys, the Greg Watsons. It's not about us as trainers.
Yeah.
We don't put the event on for us. We put the event on for the people. And the hashtag IGT family, that derive because of that culture that we've created, that people can't wait to see each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so thank you again. The Grow 100 Expert Challenge. You certainly are an expert, Ashleigh, and thank you very much for being part of this journey with us.
Lovely, thank you.